the topic of Jim Knowles getting paid $2.97 million. And there's really just two comments showing each side of the debate here. Mm-hmm. So Kyle, and this is just Kyle's comment, but so many comments were saying the same thing, are saying pay him. Let BV be a CEO. There was a bunch saying worth every penny. Give him all the money he needs. You got to pay the big bucks to be a big school, all sorts of stuff like that. And then there's the other side. Sooner 101 said this, but again, there was a lot of other comments that were similar. We have a DC in Venables. Don't use money on a DC if we already have one. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of reopen the debate of like, where are you guys at on the spectrum of, do we keep a DC in Venables or do we pay and let BV be a CEO?
Yeah, it's an interesting debate. Kyle, both of these guys are from TikTok, by the way. I don't know. Just like Spencer said before, BV has not proven he can really be a successful CEO in both roles, when he's managing the defense or when has guys running the defense for him. My first gut instinct would be to say get a DC. That'd be my first thought. But if it's not Jim Knowles,
that's the thing.
Then who do you get?
That's my pick. If it's not Jim Knowles, I would say pay Jim Knowles. If you can pay Jim Knowles, I know it's a ton of money. Pay him, because that just skyrockets everything.
Yeah.
But if it's not Jim Knowles, just go get a budget pick. Honestly,
yeah.
Put BV back at that DC role. Go get a linebacker coach. To coach linebackers like in indie drills,
yeah.
like when and get a DC, but let BV call the plays, and then when it comes to game management, I think you're going to have to see more of a. I don't know. Part of me is going to come out here and say this. BV's just. I don't want BV being the guy to call to make those big time decisions anymore.
Yeah.
In my world, I'd have Brent Venables as the defensive coordinator almost almost like a figurehead head coach, and then have somebody else actually game management.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tough decision, and I'm also of the sort of like. That money can be used better somewhere else probably than Jim Knowles. So I don't know. It's a tough decision.
Maybe an alignment.
Yeah. I think for me at least, I really want Jim Knowles, obviously, because I think there is a certain point that like pressure will be lifted off of like BV's shoulders, knowing that he doesn't have to do so much work. But at the same time, back to the same argument, it seems like it doesn't matter if there's pressure or not. He's still not going to be able to make, wise choices in game management.
Yep.
But I also don't know if defense is our problem necessarily. Like, it would make sense if we went and got, like, obviously not, but like Ryan Day, who is calling offensive plays for Ohio State, because that's what we need. That's our problem for football. Obviously, that's not going to happen, and we have Ben Arbuckle, but it's just... It honestly, it almost seems like an overhire. It's like, why go get somebody the best when we're already not, like, we could go win a championship.
We were saying that we were top
defense.
2 and not 2.
Yeah. Like, why go get, like, I'm trying to think of a scenario in my head, but I mean, you guys get the point, obviously.
No, that's a super good point.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also, like, we would be, like, OP. Like, it would be insane if we had two of the top, I mean, to have no argument here, two of the top 10 defensive minds in college football on the same team working together. It's got to be literally the best defense in college football if you put them together.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if he's asking, the asking price is $3 million. Yeah. That's hefty. That's hefty because BV makes 8 or something a year?
Mm-hmm. It's like you're rivaling the same
you're
coach.
like making half of what the boss man is making.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have the money, if we're just being selective and we can pay him that with nothing being hurt, why not go get him?
Yeah.
But if we're not going to go get him, I think, Spencer, like you said, go get a budget hire that you can see a little bit of yourself in if you're BV, who you can mold and kind of shape into who you would want
Yep.
to be your DC. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I think Zach Alley was that perfect guy.
That'd be perfect
He was
right
the perfect
now.
guy. So if you can go find, that's the only reason I said James Scousey, because I mean he got coached by BV at Clemson.
Yeah.
But like if you can go find that little BV again,
Be perfect.
go do it.
That's what we need to
go
go
do it,
find,
because he's not
honestly.
going. That 28-year-old's not going to demand $3 million because he's not proven.
Yeah.
So
You make a good point of like, if you told me mid-season, we're going to go hire a new guy for $3 million under the staff, I would say, okay, an offensive coordinator, right?
no.
A defensive coordinator? Why?
Yeah.
And I get we lost Zach Alley. I guess things have changed, but it does make more sense. Like, why invest so heavily in the defense when that's not necessarily what's going on?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the problem. So
Yeah.
I can
One thing
understand.
that is interesting to think about, though, is if Jim Knowles, if we did pay money for Jim Knowles to come here, that portal from Ohio State,
Unfortunately, they're all going to the draft.
I get some.
Everybody, I mean, they
Maybe some
have.
freshmen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of
Yeah,
talent that we
yeah.
would love to get, but
Yeah.
unfortunately for
The guys we'd really want and need are going to be going to the league.
One
or
thing-
they're going to be staying at Ohio State because they
Yeah.
just won a national championship.
one
So,
thing I heard is every SEC team we faced, except for Auburn, has a first rounder in the mock draft, and in mock drafts, of course, leaving. If you're looking for some hope in this super hard schedule, Michigan has 4 first rounders in the mock, of course, in the mock draft, leaving.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Alabama has 3. The total was like 22 of the just the teams that were playing next year.
That's insane.
22 first rounders. So almost the entire first round
SEC,
is players that we were about to play, but thank goodness
Yeah.
we do not have to.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
um,
That is so crazy to think
anyways,
about.
that's kind of a tangent, but yeah.